So what is going on, my fellow collectors? How is everybody doing today? Daredevil19 here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Bandai Tamashii Nations SH Figuarts Justice League The Flash. So let's get into it right away and start off with the box. So we do get a basic style box when it comes to Tamashii Nations web exclusive. So we don't get a window on the front of the box because of course it is a web exclusive, which is a little bit lame. And then on the top here we do get the Justice League symbol, SH Figuarts. Then we do get a couple images of the Flash figure. On the bottom says Flash, Tamashii Nations, and Bandai. And then the bottom of the box here just says SH Figuarts and Flash. Then the top here does have the Flash symbol, which looks pretty cool. And then the one side of the box does have a very nice image of the Flash figure. And then the other side does have the continuation of the image from the front of the box. Then the back of it does show a few poses you can get the figure into, along with some of the accessories. But anyway, that is the packaging. Let's get this figure up to take a closer look at the fastest man on the planet. Alrighty, taking a closer detailed look, and the paint and sculpt on this figure really turned out very well. Tamashii Nations did do a great job with this Flash. The head sculpt does look exactly like Ezra Miller. My only issue though is there's such a heavy glossiness to it, and it just brings the likeness of the figure down a little bit. If it wasn't as glossy, it would look amazing as it does in the promo images. But to me, I feel like that's the issue with the face, is that glossiness. But everything else looks spot on. The eyes both painted looking in the same direction. You can see his eyebrows painted on there. Nice clean paint where the skin tone meets the red for the mask. And the mask is one of my favorite parts about this figure. They did a dope job with it. Another little minor issue I do have, there's some silver or gray paint like splots on the top of his head right there. I don't know if he was just running real fast and bugs were splatting on his mask or something, so I don't know what that's all about. But we do get the cool gold wings around his ears there. It's really one of my favorite parts about the figure. I think those pieces look really cool. And even on the back of his mask, I love this piece here. That just looks sick. Beautiful sculpt and paintwork on that. Same with on the neck. Really great job on this figure. Nice tiny sculpt detail and very nice tiny paint detail on this Flash. Then we do get the symbol right there. And the lightning bolt looks great. The sculpt of it, the paint's nice and clean. It's the white under it. I think it's this silver line that's throwing it off. It just looks uneven on the top right, if you know what I'm talking about. I just think it's this silver line throwing it off. But other than that, it does look great. And all these silver lines and black lines, very nice clean paint. They are sculpted on there as well, so really dope job with that. Up around the shoulders look dope. Just really great job. I just love the costume design for this figure, and I know a lot of people did too. Well, of this Flash, actually, this figure. Now for the back here, once again, very nice tiny sculpt and paint detail. And in certain parts of his costume, he does have like a cool texture to it. And then the underwear piece, we do get the gold there that kind of looks like a belt. And then it does have that texture on it as well, some of those silver linings. And then the arms, very nice job on those. I like the way the shoulder armor looks. I think that looks pretty cool. And once again with the black and silver lines, very clean paintwork on this figure. The elbow joints look great. That little piece of armor hides the joint perfectly. Do get the gold on there as well. And then for the legs, once again, very nice job with the paint and sculpt. The lines for the silver and black look great. We do have that cool texture in certain spots. And the lower legs, well, the knee joints look great because just like with the elbow joints, it has like a piece of armor over it, so it hides the knee joints perfectly and blends in excellent with the figure. The lower legs, beautiful paint and sculpt, man. I just love how all these silver lines are all over the place. That just looks sick. Then we do get the gold wings right there, which look pretty cool. And then for the feet, we get some more gold paint on there, which looks nice. And those are sculpted on there, those lightning bolts. And then very nice job on the paint and sculpt on the black and red as well. And then the bottom of them, not much going on. So overall, I think Tamashii Nations did a superb job when it comes to the detail with this Flash. Like I said, my only issue is they made the face, mainly the skin tone, way too glossy, and it kind of throws the likeness of the actor off a little bit. But other than that, I think they did an excellent job with the detail. But anyway, let's continue on. Moving on to the accessories, and this is where this Flash figure gets extremely disappointing, because as you can see right there, all we get included with this Flash is only 6 alternate hands, and that is extremely disappointing. Tamashii Nations could have included a few other things, especially alternate faces. I don't know why we only just get the one face that comes on the figure. Why couldn't they have included maybe an unmasked face, or even some masked faces with different facial expressions, like a smiling face, or maybe like that scared look that he had throughout the entire movie since he's new to the superhero stuff. I mean, they had a few options to give us a few alternate faces, and they could have included an extra set of hands, the ones where he's got his hands out like this, like kind of where he's about to run. The Mafex Flash is even included with those hands, so very, very disappointing with the lack of accessories Tamashii Nations has included with this figure, and he is a web exclusive as well, so that makes it even more disappointing. At least include a damn stand. So what we do get with this Flash, like I said, is the 6 alternate hands, so we do get a pair of fists, of course, which come on the figure out of the packaging in beautiful paint and sculpt detail all throughout these. Nice clean paintwork throughout all the alternate hands, and the black on the glove there has that nice texture to it. I love the red armor pieces though, and all the hands are extremely simple to interchange, but beautiful job with the detail on this. So we do get a pair of fists, and then we do get a pair of open hands here, which are probably my favorite out of all 6, and once again, beautiful job with the paint and sculpt, but I can't see the fingernails sculpted on there, so that does kind of suck as well, but very good job with the detail on these. So we do get a pair of those, and then finally we get a pair of Karate Chippity Chop Chop hands, and once again, beautiful paint and sculpt detail all throughout these hands here. Just really great job on the hands though, I gotta give them that. But anyway, that is all the limited amount of accessories included with the Flash. Let's keep moving on with the rest of the review, shall we? Now for the height of Barry Allen to the very top of his head, it looks like he's around 6 inches tall. And then here he is compared to the SH Figuarts Justice League Batman, the Justice League Wonder Woman, the Mafex Justice League Batman, and the Mezco 112 Deathstroke. And then here he is compared to the SH Figuarts, the Dark Knight Batman, the Suicide Squad Harley Quinn, the Suicide Squad Joker, and the Suicide Squad Deadshot. And then here he is compared to the Storm Collectibles Sub-Zero, the Max Factory Figma Deadpool, the Mafex Armored Batman, and the Mafex The Dark Knight Rises Bane. And then here he is compared to the SH Figuarts Awakened Warrior Super Saiyan Goku and the Mezco 112 Deadpool. Anyway, there's some quick comparisons. Let's keep moving on with the rest of the review. So now for the articulation, we do get some pretty damn good movement with this figure. So the upper neck joint, you could get Flash to look up that much, which is pretty good. This joint kind of gets stuck sometimes when you move it forward and back, and looking down, he just looks straight ahead. We just get a tiny bit of pivot at the upper neck, and then it does swivel. That joint's really tight on mine. The lower neck does go forward a lot, so you can get him to pretty much look all the way down. Goes back just a tiny bit, so you can get him to look up a little bit more, so good for running poses. Then we do get very nice pivot there, and then of course it does swivel, so very nice movement combining both the neck joints there. Then we do get a point of articulation at the torso, which is really bad on this figure. Either it's just my figure and it's really tight or something, or he just has really bad torso movement. So he does not go forward at all, which is extremely disappointing, but he does go back a decent amount. The pivot, very minimal, really practically not even there. We do get some swivel out of it. Then the waist here doesn't really go forward that much either, so moving the figure forward with the torso and the waist was just executed so poorly, man. But it does go back a lot, so with both joints he does go back very well. So once again, good for running poses. Both joints, he really doesn't go forward at all. You get much better pivot at the waist. Look at that, oh my god. That's really good pivot, but then you see a gap there. And then we do get swivel. Now for the shoulders here, we do have a butterfly joint, so you can almost crisscross the arms. Just not though. Then we do get a nice shoulder joint here, so you can move the arm a little bit in a circular motion. Then the arms do go out to the sides, about 90 degrees. They do go up and down. We have bicep swivel, but it's at the shoulder. I would have preferred the bicep swivel where it's at the bicep right there, not right here, because it does hinder that type of arm articulation, if you know what I mean. But we do get the swivel up there. Then we do have double jointed elbows that bend in all the way. Then the joint does swivel a tiny bit at the elbow there. And then we do have a ball hinge on the wrist, so it does swivel and hinges back and forth. Now for the legs here, we do have the new type of leg joints, but they also put in the drop down leg joints as well, which I thought was pretty cool actually. So you can drop the legs down a little bit, and Flash can kick forward a little more than 90 degrees, goes to the back about 45 degrees. Then let's see if Flash can Jean-Claude Van Damme it. And it looks like he almost can, just shy of 90 degrees, so pretty good leg movement with this Flash. Then we do get a very tight upper thigh swivel. Some of the joints feel like they're a little loose, like they're not too loose, but they're not too tight. That's something I'm not really fond of, but something I figured I would mention to you guys. Now for the knees, we have double jointed knees here that bend back all the way, so nice movement there. Then for the ankles, they do swivel. They hinge up a really good amount, hinge down an excellent amount, and then if you want it to pivot, you got to kind of turn the joint, and you can almost get a 90-degree bend ankle pivot. And then we do have a toe hinge there. So overall, we do get some very nice articulation with this Flash. The torso and the waist, really, really bad forward movement, but other than that, you're going to be able to pretty much get them into any type of fast Speed Force like poses, and I'm about to show you some of them right about now. But anyway, that is my review of the SH Figuarts Justice League Flash. Hope you enjoyed it. If I had to rate this figure between a 1 through 10, I'd have to give it an even 8. If you would like to know the price and where to buy this figure, I did have mine imported from Japan from Ami, but I know my buddy from Ageless Geeks will be getting the Japan and the US release of this figure. I think he'll have the Japan release sometime this upcoming week, so if you would like to get your Flash, be sure to go over to Agelessgeeks.com, or you could go through their Instagram or their Facebook group. I will put more information in the description below. And if you would like to support the channel, don't forget to subscribe and click on that notification bell. And if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, just give it a thumbs up anyway, because action figures are awesome. But thanks for watching. I will see you later. So we don't get a window on the front of the box because, of course, it is a web exclusive. On the top, we do get what the heck? Damn it. And then the other side of the box does have the continuation image of the damn it, messed up. Which is kind of lame. And then on the top of the box here, we do get the Justice League, Wonder Woman, the Figma, Deadpool, the Max. What? Max Factory. Makefex. Damn it! Damn it! That the Mayfex figure comes with, where he has like his two fingers out like that. I don't know why they didn't include. Damn it! You can even see the fingernail sculpted on there. I think you can. Actually, you can't.